Alright guys, I'm back with my review of this week's episode of Dexter, Season 7, Episode 11, Do You See What I See? And get ready for some massive spoilers here. But I did enjoy this week's episode. It was kind of all over the place, but I thought they did a good job tying everything together in the end. Had a lot of Dexter juggling things with Deborah and Hannah McKay, Hector Estrada, and of course LaGuerta getting closer to figuring out he's the Bay Harbor Butcher, which she should know beyond a shadow of a doubt that he's the Bay Harbor Butcher after that cargo container stuff. But it was a pretty good episode. It just left me wondering what was the purpose of the Koshka Brotherhood and all those episodes with Isaac and the strip club owner and all that crap. In fact, Quinn actually goes to the strip club in this episode, and the place is running like nothing ever happened. I mean, who is running this place? They didn't skip a beat. So I thought that was kind of weird. But the episode starts off with Dexter imagining himself growing old with Hannah McKay. He gets a phone call. He finds out Hector Estrada is up for parole, the last surviving member of the group that killed Dexter's mother. So Dexter feels like he can finally kill Hector Estrada. He can end that chapter of his life. He's got Hannah McKay. Everything's going great for him. And then Tom wants to meet him. And Tom's meeting with Dexter, and he says, LaGuerta thinks you're the Bay Harbor Butcher. He just comes out and says it, and I guess he's trying to interrogate Dexter to see how he reacts to this news. And Dexter says that he actually saw Doakes on a boat, and it's one of the reasons he moved his boat. He was scared of Doakes, and he never told anyone because he was afraid of what Doakes might do to him or his sister. And Tom believes this story. We see Deborah. She goes to talk with Arlene, and she asks her about the counselor Hannah McKay killed. And Arlene is not really sure if she wants to talk. Deb threatens her with jail time, and Arlene says she needs to think about this. Dexter tells Deborah about LaGuerta and Tom, and how he needs to plant some solid evidence to prove Doakes was the Bay Harbor Butcher. And Deborah actually says that she'll take care of the evidence. So Tom tells LaGuerta he doesn't think it's Dexter, and she thinks he's too involved with the Morgan family. It's clouding his judgment. She's not giving up on this. She still thinks it's Dexter. Arlene goes to see Hannah. We find out the counselor she killed was touching them. It was another cheap way to make us feel sympathy for Hannah McKay. I don't understand why they would do that this far into the season, especially in this episode when you have the stuff with Hannah and Deborah happen later in the episode, in the same episode, and it looks like she's going to become a potential villain for Dexter. So why try to make us feel sympathy for this character yet again? And even if she was justified in killing this one guy, she still killed the poor old lady whose house she lives in. She still killed Sal Price. She killed her ex-husband, and who knows how many other countless innocent people she killed with Wayne Randall. So you can't really feel sympathy for this character at all. She's definitely not innocent. I don't understand why they keep trying to make us care about her. Quinn finds out Nadia moved to Vegas. That's about it. Deborah takes one of her pills, and she goes into LaGuerta's house while she's out and plants a tackle box. So the next day, LaGuerta and Tom are cleaning out her garage, looking through some of Doakes' belongings, and they find the tackle box. It's got keys to a boathouse. I have no idea how they set this up, but they go to the boathouse and they find plastic wrap, a knife with Doakes' fingerprints on it, and Tom thinks this is it. This is all the proof you need that Doakes was the Bay Harbor Butcher. And LaGuerta still, she's not buying it. Tom's a moron. Well, I guess I can't really say that. I mean, we know Dexter's the Bay Harbor Butcher, but if you're looking at things from Tom's perspective, why would he think otherwise? I mean, why would he think it was someone other than Doakes? You have all this evidence, and now you have the boathouse. But LaGuerta still thinks it's Dexter. Hannah goes to see Deborah. She wants to work out their issues. Deborah says she's going to do anything she can to protect Dexter, and she wants to protect him from Hannah McKay. She wants to see her behind bars and doesn't care what she has to say. Dexter goes to see Tom again. Now, if I was Tom, I would find this suspicious, since Dexter never visits Tom. But he tells Dexter that LaGuerta found Doakes' boathouse, and he doesn't need to worry about LaGuerta anymore. Dexter comes up to Hector Estrada. He acts like he's some drug dealer. He's got these drugs to move. And he's trying to get him to take the bait, which he does, and Hector agrees to meet him later tonight. Dexter gets a call from Batista that Deb's been in a car accident. So he rushes to the hospital, and Batista says they found a lot of anti-anxiety medication in her system. She was on her way to meet Arlene about Hannah McKay. So Dexter goes in, and Deborah says that Hannah knew about Arlene, and she was at her house last night. So now Dexter's getting kind of suspicious, and then Deborah puts two and two together and says, Hannah drugged me. So Dexter thinks, oh, you're crazy, you just took too many pills, but now it's in the back of his mind. So he starts looking for some evidence that maybe Hannah was involved in Deb's car accident, and he finds this water bottle, which he sends off to get tested. He celebrates Christmas Eve with Hannah McKay, but now he's really suspicious of her, and he just comes out and asks her, did you drug Deborah? And she says no, she denies everything, and says she never made a mistake. If she poisoned Deborah, she'd be dead. So Dexter has Hector Estrada follow him to the cargo container. He's got the whole place wrapped in plastic. He's got the chainsaw. He's ready to kill Hector Estrada. Hector pulls a gun. He fires a shot, but Dexter's able to fight him off. And he's getting ready to kill him. And Hector starts talking about how this cop, she really pushed for me to get released. It was a setup. And Dexter realizes that it wasn't a setup for Hector. It was a trap for him, set by LaGuerta. And he fell right into it. She knew that if she pushed for Hector to get released, Dexter would immediately go after him. And he did. And the police and LaGuerta show up, they heard the gunshot, they make it to the cargo container, and Dexter and Hector are gone. They take off, Hector jumps into the ocean, and Dexter just takes off and leaves. So now he's got Hector out there too. But the main thing here is LaGuerta has to know after seeing this that Dexter's the Bay Harbor Butcher. And if Dexter's big plan to fix this is to kill LaGuerta, I think too many people know. I mean, Tom knows, and all these cops who saw the cargo container know, and they were following Dexter. So, I mean, that's a lot of people who know something about this. I don't think he can wrap this up just by killing LaGuerta. So Dexter goes back to his apartment and gets a call, and he finds out the water bottle was drugged. He picks Deb up from the hospital, and he gives her Sal Price's pen, which has Hannah McKay's fingerprints all over it. And this is basically what Deborah's been looking for. This will send Hannah McKay away. And Dexter realized he had to do this because as long as Hannah is free, Deborah's not safe. And he had to do this to protect his sister. So he goes to see Hannah McKay one last time, and she thinks he's there to prove he wants to be with her. But Deborah shows up with the police and they arrest Hannah McKay, and she tells Dexter he should have killed her. And that's how the episode ended. Now, even if something happens and we find out Hannah didn't really drug Deborah, who cares? She's still a killer. So that wouldn't bother me at all. But the main thing now is she knows a lot about Dexter, and she's going to be in police custody. And she can just talk all day about the crazy stuff Dexter's done. She knows everything about him. So he kind of screwed himself here, and it's his own fault. He's got nobody else to blame. But yeah, this episode ended with Hannah McKay getting arrested. I don't want to go into too much detail about the preview, but it's going to get really crazy. It's the season finale, and you know it's going to have a massive cliffhanger. So it sucks because we're going to have to wait a whole nother year to see where they go with this. But yeah, I don't think killing LaGuerta is going to fix anything. I think Dexter's pretty much screwed himself now, especially after going after Hector Estrada. And now that Hector's still out there, if they ever find out he's dead, they know exactly who to look at. But anyways, that's my review of this week's episode of Dexter. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's episode in the comments, and thanks for watching.